welcome to Bridgewater-Raynham Regional High School as the Trojans take on the Whitman-Hanson Panthers. I'm John Luck alongside Brian Berard in a consolation game here, Brian. But another week here for the Trojans to try and work on some things, get ready for the matchup against Brockton. But offensively, if you're going off of what happened last week, not a lot to work on for the Trojans.
No, their running game was really top-notch last week. William Lombard and Anthony Morrison really had so much open field, especially on those pitch plays, to just run rampant. And I expect Bridgewater-Raynham to continue that same exact offense here tonight.
Bridgewater-Raynham with a lopsided victory last week. Whitman-Hanson a lopsided loss, losing 36-2 to Scituate. Panthers come in here with a 2-8 record. They won the toss, and they will receive to open things up here at the regional.
Very little wind to speak of to start off here tonight at Bridgewater-Raynham.
35 degrees.
Will be Liam Stewart.
This is going to be Liam Stewart kicking things away, and we are underway here at the regional on a Friday night. And the Panthers find an open hole here. Whitman-Hanson's going to start from BR's 45-yard line. A nice return there from Cam Cummings.
Yeah, good wall set up right there from the Panthers special teams. Good wedge block. Saw a hole, just ran right through it. You'll take a look in the replay. Excellent wedge blocking. Did what he needed to do. Good field position to start right here for the Panthers.
The Panthers from the Bridgewater-Raynham 45-yard line.
Jason Murphy, the starting quarterback for the Panthers, a junior quarterback. Took over for Connor Meehan, who was injured at the start of the season. Split receiver set here. As Murphy getting rushed, completes the pass over to Devin Colstring. And Colstring will get taken down around the 40-yard line.
Little screen pass set up right there from the Panthers. Excellent job right there from Bridgewater-Raynham's Tyler Newman. Got off his block pretty good. Really quick, we'll take a look at the replay here. You'll see number 6 towards the middle of this screen, gets off his block, makes the tackle. Excellent job.
That's a 5-yard gain. It will be second and 5 for the Panthers.
Second down and 5 come up here for the Panthers, who show a 4-receiver set now.
Shotgun formation.
With Murphy in the shotgun, this is going to be a handoff. Again, going to Cummings here. And Cummings is going to have enough for the first down by probably a yard or so, given the forward progress.
They got right up to the line, saw our hole, cut it back to the left. Nice 6-yard gain for him to get a first down. You see on the replay, sees it, cuts it up. Good job right there, gets 6 yards, first down for Whitman-Hanson. They probably have a sour taste in their mouth after only scoring 2 points last week.
That came in the fourth quarter, so that was when Scituate probably had their fourth stringers out there, so certainly a lot of frustration, as you pointed out. Now a new set of downs here, about 1:10 gone. On the sweep here, this is going to be Nicholas Dolan coming around to the near side before getting taken down around the 28-yard line.
Good fly sweep. That's actually going to count as a pass. It's going to go forward, but you'll take a look here on the replay. Right there, it gets to the outside. Good blocking, especially from the receivers on the Panthers. Waits to find a hole, goes to the outside. Good breakaway speed.
Tyler Newman with the stop there to bring up 2nd and 4. About 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Handoff goes to C.J. Giuliani, who's going to be a focal point for this Whitman-Hanson offense. Going to come up short of the first down marker, about second, or rather third down and about 2.
Yeah, good blocking up front right there from the Panthers' offensive line. It wasn't a huge hole that they opened up, but it was enough to get a couple of yards out of it. It brings up a 3rd and manageable. And again, your playbook is going to be wide open here if you're the Panthers.
This Whitman-Hanson team showing a lot of juniors and sophomores on the roster. Only a handful of seniors. 3rd and short. This is going to be a QB keep here for Murphy. Murphy, pardon the Red Sea, inside the 10, taken down to around the 6-yard line.
Again, this offensive line here for Whitman-Hanson just opening up these holes. Take a look at the replay. He goes to the left. Good job right there from your left tackle and left guard, opening up that hole. About a 20-yard run.
Now resting on the 5-yard line. It will be first and goal for the Whitman-Hanson Panthers.
Just over 2.5 gone in this first quarter, and we're going to get a timeout called by Whitman-Hanson here. So Mike Driscoll realizes the level of concentration here for his team. rather on BR.
I was going to say that was an odd timeout for Whitman-Hanson to take.
Well, the referee on the bottom started pointing to the left, so I looked at the guy in the striped shirt.
I know Coach Bjorn was to the referee's right. Maybe that's what he kind of got confused with. But, you know, this you see Dan Bjorn laying into his defense right here. Poor tackling. Your defensive line is allowing all these holes to get open, and the linebackers aren't really doing a good job of, you know, supporting that defensive line here for BR. And you see Whitman-Hanson. Granted, that this all started with the kickoff return. They went to the 45-yard line, and they've gained 40 yards so far in 5 plays. So that's what Coach Bjorn's telling his team, you know, shore up some things, make sure they don't get into the end zone. Well, that's going to be really tough, first and goal from the 5. That's going to be tough to stop.
About a 35-yard return by Cam Cummings to start things off. And now the Panthers looking at first and goal from the 5-yard line. Murphy in the shotgun. Giuliani's going to take this one and also take about 4 Trojans down with him, or maybe a short loss.
Try to counterplay right there in the shotgun formation. Fakes to his left, cuts back to his right. And that defensive line for the Trojans was ready for that one.
Kind of interesting when we look at the BR defense, because last week they did a great job of getting to the quarterback, making him make some serious mistakes.
And the thing is, too, and you know, Whitman-Hanson's doing a spread offense. Newton North was doing the same exact thing.
This is going to be a QB keep here by Murphy, going to the far side and going into the end zone for a touchdown. Jason Murphy, a 6-yard run to put Whitman-Hanson on the board.
May have been a little bit of a hold on the outside of the play. We'll take a look at the replay. But that's just a good run. He sees the open daylight. May have got a hold there. No call. Goes to the outside, goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
So the Panthers strike first with 8:36 to go in the first quarter.
We got a cook on that's good. Number 12, Jason Murphy.
And the Panthers are going to hold on to the 6-0 lead as that one went off the crossbar.
I believe that one may have been tipped.
Touchdown.
That was kind of an odd knuckleball type of kick right to the crossbar. I have to wonder if someone from Bridgewater-Raynham got their paws on that.
So for the first time in a long time, BR playing behind the 8 ball. As we go back and look at this PAT.
Ladies and gentlemen, our concession stand, again, the rule be open throughout the contest, and it is manned by
I don't know if I do see a tip. I think it was just a bad kick. May have just, instead of getting under the ball, got right towards the middle of it and just hit a line drive right to the crossbar.
You see that a lot in high school football, especially in Massachusetts. There's no real, I don't want to say clutch kickers, but it's very difficult to find a player dedicated to the kicking game.
I think the last great kicker out of Massachusetts was Justin Yoon. He went to go play for Notre Dame. I believe he played for Needham in high school.
And if we kicking off by the Panthers.
William Lombard and Anthony Morrison awaiting this kick as the Trojans look to get on the scoreboard here on this drive. End over end. This is going to go to Morrison around his own 16-yard line. Coming to the near side, gets a key block. Morrison across midfield, and BR's going to start from the Whitman-Hanson 48-yard line.
Excellent run right there. Anthony Morrison goes to that near sideline. We'll see it right here. There's a wide open gap that he sees. There's that cut coming up towards the near side. Just keeps running, tries to cut it in towards the middle of the field. Good idea. Excellent return. And now BR tries to get something going with a short field.
A very run-heavy football team, as is typical here for the BR offense. We've seen that really for the last couple games, especially going back to the Tennessee Yarmouth game, well over 300 rushing yards among 3 running backs. Matthew Brown to the far side along with Morrison, who's now the motion man. Austin Hartzell is going to get taken down on the first passing play attempt of the night.
Yeah, BR trying to set the tone early, trying to go for a big play at the beginning. Good job, though, from that Panthers defensive line. Gets right up the middle.
8-yard loss for the Trojans. It will be second and 18.
So it's going to be an 8-yard loss. And we talk about Austin Hartzell. It's kind of a developing plan here with Austin Hartzell because we haven't seen him pass the ball a lot, but it's also because of the play calling as well. We haven't seen a lot of passing plays.
Yeah, the run game for Bridgewater-Raynham has been working pretty much all season long. And like I said, you try to do something a little different. You know, these games don't really mean all that much.
And Lombard gets tripped up.
Lombard on the carry. Slipping on the turf.
But just to continue my point, the games don't really mean all that much. You're just trying to figure out just some different things. Again, I said it a million times in the last broadcast. You're just trying to figure out some things for next year, and you're trying to figure out some things for Brockton on Thanksgiving Day. But, you know, I like the attempt there. You know, of course, your offensive line didn't do what it needed to do, but I like that play call.
2 receivers to the near side here as Hartzell again going to drop back. Thought he completed the pass to Rubo, but it was incomplete. So Hartzell, after an 8-yard loss, comes up empty on there, and BR's going to go 3 and out with 7:11 to go in the first quarter.
They're trying to screen pass, and I don't think it was going to gain anything. There was a couple of Panthers ready to pounce.
See what you did there with Panthers and pounce.
You're welcome. I totally meant to do that on purpose.
Kicking the Trojans.
Looks like Devin Colstring and Nicholas Dolan waiting this kick. A very strong kick. Taken by Dolan around the 5. And Dolan's going to get ripped down around the 21, 22-yard line.
And just a low line drive from Buron. If they wanted to, they could have let that roll into the end zone for a touchback. And they gained, let's see, got out to about the 24-ish yard line, 23-ish yard line.
So back out comes Jason Murphy and this Panthers offense, who just put 6 points on the scoreboard.
Again, spreading that BR defense out thin.
Chips to the near side here, and looks like this is going to be another QB keep for about a 1-yard gain. So I said Jason Murphy was in the game. I'm not sure if that's actually number 17 in that quarterback here, and if that's the case, that's Andrew Cloutman. Quarterbacks for Whitman-Hanson, they do like to run the ball. Murphy had about 350 rushing yards this season.
I believe you're correct. I think that is Cloutman playing quarterback for the Panthers.
A sophomore quarterback in for the Panthers, facing a 2nd and 9. And Cloutman on the move again. Gets leveled around the 28, 29-yard line before getting pushed out, I believe, by Jacob Spear.
Take a look at the replay. I don't know if you saw this, but towards the end, you know, normally for quarterbacks, you don't see this. He's going to lower his shoulder. There he goes. Tries to get the contact. Instead of going right out of bounds, just lower the shoulder. I love that. I mean, he's a young player. You know, maybe at the upper level in college, you're not going to do something like that, especially leading with your throwing shoulder. But I like that play right there.
So a couple yards on the game there for Cloutman. Brings up a 3rd and 6, about 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Handoff goes to Giuliani, and Giuliani's going to be about a yard or so short of the first down, depending on the spot.
I think they're going to give it to him. They are.
Looks like as he went down, he put the ball out right above his head.
I thought he was a little short too, but already the 3rd first down for Whitman-Hanson.
It's almost a 180 from what we saw last week. BR in control, especially of the clock and the first downs. On first down, BR had that one snuffed out. Cam Cummings was the running back. Gets stopped around the line of scrimmage.
So the idea when you Whitman-Hanson, I think pretty much every play have used 3 or 4 receivers. And as you said, you spread out that defense. You can't really get many linebackers in the middle of the field. So if the offensive line does their job, there's going to be a wide open hole for the running back. We saw that on the first drive. We've seen that so far for a couple plays on this drive too. But Bridgewater-Raynham defensive line is starting to pick up the play a little bit. Here it is again. You have 3 to the near side, 1 to the far side, 4 receivers.
Kobe Garden on the far side. Cloutman off the 2-step drop, completes that pass to John Ziden. Zion gets the first down. A nice grab there for the senior receiver.
14-yard gain on the pass. Take a look. Kind of a quick in route, high pass. Goes up and gets it, though.
And again, Driscoll going with the 4-receiver set.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
On the keep. Cloudman across midfield to the 49. Gets hurt down by Newman. The ball came out for a moment, but obviously Cloudman down.
So this seems like this is how Whitman-Hanson is going to play this for the rest of the night. Spread that BR defense thin. Can the defensive line and the linebackers make a play? And eventually, if they start running and more and more, they're going to start pounding that box a little bit more, and you're going to have one-on-one coverage with your receivers.
4 on the line for the Trojans on a second down. This is Cummings going to the far side. And after a couple yards, gets eventually pushed out by Carlo Cressetti.
So initially he
up to the 45.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, John. Initially, he runs right towards the middle of that line and cuts it out immediately to that far side.
3:50 remaining in the first quarter. Whitman-Hanson up 6-0.
I like that play call right there from Whitman-Hanson. Run at the line initially, get everyone to converge, and then you kick it outside where there's no bodies.
3rd and 2. The handoff goes to Giuliani, gets the first down, tripped up, taken down at the 41-yard line.
Stop by Skills.
11 yards so far tonight for number 11.
It's just a power of will. Again, that offensive line for Whitman-Hanson opening up the holes. 3rd first down of this drive here for the Panthers.
Again, Giuliani in the backfield. And we're going to get a flag.
I believe we're going to have a false start on your slot receiver. Started a little too soon.
We have a flag on the deck.
And you are.
So just getting back to C.J. Giuliani here for a second. He's listed as a tight end here on the roster. And he certainly has the size of a tight end just from first glance.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I believe he was the one that started a little too early for the Panthers. But he's going to be a focal point of this defense for Bridgewater-Raynham for sure.
So now 2 receivers to the top and the bottom here. 1st and 15. Again, Whitman-Hanson staying on the ground. A nice run there by Will Stafford.
Stafford for the Panthers. Stop number 31.
What I'm noticing about the running backs, and correct me if I'm wrong here, when they get hit and it feels like they're going down, there's just that extra burst that comes out as they reach the ball over their heads.
Yeah, you keep your legs going and you just try to fall forward, get a couple extra yards.
Could be dangerous when you start talking about fumble. Cloutman, that pass is complete to Ziden. And Ziden is going to get stopped around the 40, but we do have a flag.
Yeah, you're going to get a block in the back on Whitman-Hanson. That's going to be on Nicholas Dolan, number 80 right there. Legal block. It's either going to be blocking the back or it's going to be a holding on him.
Another flag on the deck.
Blocking the back. Excellent job from the camera mic picking that up all the way from the field.
It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because if things go really wrong, then...
Yeah, it's very true.
May have to air this at like 11 or midnight. So the Panthers hurting themselves here. A couple of big flags.
And that penalty for holding against the Panthers. Moving the ball back.
Ziden lining up on the near side, right in front of the BR sideline. Facing a 2nd and long. Cloutman winds up and throws this one deep, and that is going to be intercepted. Carlo Cressetti with the interception.
Yeah, just kind of threw up a duck right there, and it was just everyone just going up for it. You'll take a look on the replay. I don't know if he got hit as he threw it or not. I just don't think it was just the greatest release. Throws a wobbler up there, and Crocetti just goes up and gets it.
We've seen Crocetti develop more as a defensive player over the past couple of games here. As with 2:11 left to go in the first quarter, BR looking to even things up here, down 6-0. Power eye for the Trojans. Lombard with the ball. Gets through a couple of defenders up to the 34-yard line.
That's the play that kept working for BR last week against Newton North. Pitch it to the outside. You got some great blockers. We'll take a look at the replay. Got some good blockers, especially on the edge. Looks for a hole, cuts it up. About a 6-yard, 7-yard gain on the play.
Brings up a 2nd and 3. Again, Trojans playing it tight here. Lombard again with the ball, diving for the first down marker, and depending on the spot, he might have gotten it. Maybe just a little bit short.
I think it's going to be just a little short. Bobby Hunter just kind of exploded through the line there for Whitman-Hanson.
Hunter on the stop by the Panthers.
As the refs are going to bring the chains out here with 1:24 to go.
This is going to be a close one. They started the drive at 27, of course at the 37. All depends on where they put the ball. Oh, just that short.
You almost need the index card to get the difference.
I don't know if we're quite at that level yet. Close.
Maybe a couple index cards.
Yeah, maybe like a deck of them. If I'm BR, though, I'm trying to go for that quick hitter to the fullback. Worked effectively, very effectively last week against Newton North.
Trojans turning back the clock here. A lot of power eye formation here on this drive. For the 3rd straight play, they go power eye, but Whitman-Hanson had that one scouted out. But they're going to give Lombard, I think, the forward progress. Or rather, Michael Rubo.
Joe McStravick right there for Whitman-Hanson got in the backfield. I thought he had the stop initially. It was a good job from Rubo, just keep his legs turning and get that first down for BR. The first down of this game.
1 minute to the quarter.
Inside of a minute to play here in the opening quarter at the regional. On first down, this is going to go to Morrison, who dives to the 42-yard line. Of course, Morrison, part of that two-headed attack as far as the running game goes, along with William Lombard. But we're starting to see Michael Rubo get more and more of the carries as well.
Yeah, going to the fullback a little bit quicker now. Kind of keeps the defense honest. You try to have a balanced attack rushing. Go to your other running backs. You go to your fullback. Trying to keep that defense guessing.
Final play of the first quarter. Morrison gets the first down and a lot more. Anthony Morrison puts a capper on the first quarter.
Nice hole opened up right there from the Trojans' offensive line. He sees it, cuts through it. Again, you saw it all year long. Just shot out of a cannon.
58 yards for Anthony Morrison.
Take a look at the replay. Good hole opened up right there on the left side. Once he gets through to the secondary, boom, there is no catching Anthony Morrison.
Liam Stewart on for the PAT attempt. As that was the final play of the first quarter, and the Trojans will take a 7-6 lead going into quarter number 2, thanks to Anthony Morrison going 58 yards.
5-play drive for Bridgewater-Raynham. Last one, they went 3 and out. Bridgewater-Raynham gets that interception, kind of gives them a little pep in their step. Because that Whitman-Hanson drive was just under 5 minutes long, and it was 11 plays. They actually got 3 first downs on that drive, too.
So as we get set to start things off in the second quarter, going back to that BR offense, I talked about the compact offense. That's something that we used to see, back when we started calling the games in 2009, 2010, a lot of those power I formations. We haven't seen a lot of it recently, but on that drive.
Lately, Bridgewater-Raynham is starting to get more and more quarterbacks that Coach Bjorn is more comfortable throwing into a passing offense.
And Whitman-Hanson is going to start out from their own 35-yard line.
So let's see what Whitman-Hanson does here after the interception on the last drive. I'm assuming they're still going to spread it out. They're still going to run. But I love when they run at that line. You get that defensive line thinking it's going to be run up the middle. And if you can cut to the outside just in time, there's a lot of daylight for all those runners in that Panthers backfield.
Trips to the near side. Handoff goes to Stafford, and Stafford has nowhere to go.
John McMaster's right there on the tackle for BR. He does a great job getting off of his block, wrapping up the running back there, stopping for about a 2-yard loss.
This has the potential to be a game-altering drive here. If Whitman-Hanson gets stopped on a 3-and-out, the BR defense really comes up big. Cloutman is going to stay on his feet after almost getting taken down. And he's going to get some positive yards out of this before getting pushed out of bounds by Brian Merlino.
Logan Johnson couldn't quite get him down in the backfield for a sack. Good job right there, though, from Cloutman to get away from that. Look up field, see that there's no receivers and runs, gets about 4 yards.
After all of that, it's just a 4-yard gain, brings up 3rd and 6. Cloutman is going to get rushed, and that pass is complete to Cummings, but nowhere for him to go, as again, that is Tyler Newman. We're saying his name a lot tonight early on.
I think Whitman-Hanson tried to do a screen. That's why he had so many Trojans in the backfield so quick. It was a good job from Newman. You take a look at the replay. Newman just waits there. He reads the play very beautifully, and then just attacks.
So the 5-yard loss means the Panthers are going to kick things away with 10.5 remaining in the first half, and heads up. I don't know if that was a fair catch call by Trey Solo on the near side on the BR sideline.
Oops. Usually not good when your punt doesn't make first down distance.
I didn't even think of that. That was John Ziden who kicked it into the BR sideline.
So BR short field. Let's see what they can do with it. I expect that pound and ground game. Again, watch for a pitch for BR. Maybe try to go towards that far side.
BR onto the near side. The pitch goes to Lombard. Gets a couple of blocks bouncing off his own man up to the 39-yard line, but for about a 5-yard gain.
Initially by number 57 of the Panthers.
And like I said, those pitches for Bridgewater-Raynham have been working. Go to the far side, go to the near side, go to the far side, go to the near side. And they're doing a good job of getting blocks, especially on the edge.
It's a 5-yard gain. It will be 2nd and 5 by the Trojans. Out there in the center.
Morrison, the motion man, 2nd down and 5, 9:45 to go in the first quarter. And that's about to change.
I believe we're going to get this on Whitman-Hanson. They jumped into the neutral zone, which made Bridgewater-Raynham jump. Now let's see where they're actually going to spot the ball, if that gives BR the first down. And they are going to give them the first down.
I think you could hear some of the displeasure from Whitman-Hanson.
And it's pretty clear that there was a couple of them that jumped.
Can go on power I. Hartzell going to throw.
Wide
and
open.
that is going to be complete to Buron for the touchdown.
Wide open. He had a couple receivers just blow right by the secondary of Whitman-Hanson. That play action, when you run so effectively, that play action is going to work so well in your favor. And by the time Whitman-Hanson realizes it, it is way too late.
So how about that for Hartzell's first completion of the night, a 34-yard touchdown going to Matthew Buron. Stewart on for the PAT, and that is going to be good. And that's a pretty important PAT because now it's 14-6, an 8-point lead for the Trojans. William Lombard, a couple of runs, capped off by that 34-yard strike from Austin Hartzell to Matthew Buron, the junior wide receiver.
As I said, Bridgewater-Raynham, they're going to pack it in. They're going to run. And you saw that play action. Everyone on that Panthers defense bit for it.
And of course, you think about the starting field position for BR off of that offensive drive. It was that kick that went off the side of the foot of Ziden that didn't even cross the 45-yard line. And over ends. And the Panthers are going to start things off from their own 30 with 9:19 to go in the first half. So this is pretty important. BR is taking advantage of these miscues. I talked about that kick that went off the side of Zeiden's foot, but there was also that interception that sparked things off there for Anthony Morrison to go 58 yards. A three-receiver set. The handoff goes to Giuliani, and he'll get a short gain here, about a couple of yards.
I think for Whitman-Hanson, stop running at that Bridgewater-Raynham defensive line. You spread them out. Start running to the outside. That works so effective. So effective for you. You do fly sweeps. You run up the middle and then cut it to the outside. I think the Panthers need to get back to that.
Number 80, Nicholas Dolan is on the near side. He was a part of a couple of sweep attempts. Cloudman on the keep, and that wasn't a good idea.
So this is what Bridgewater-Raynham is starting to do now. Whitman-Hanson gets four receivers out there, and BR is just going to sit in a zone defense. And all their eyes are just going to be in the backfield, watching for them to run the ball. If they're going to kick it to the outside, your cornerbacks are going to just converge in. If they run to the middle, they're going to converge in the middle with your linebackers. So Bridgewater-Raynham, kind of like against last week with Newton North, kind of stayed in that zone defense, but especially even more now. I think they'll be willing to give Whitman-Hanson that outside route if they want to give them that route to the sideline.
3rd and 9, 8:04 to go in the second quarter. Cloutman throwing this one deep. It's another wobbler. That's going to be incomplete, and there's a flag.
I believe that they are going to get a Crocetti there for the pass interference. Pretty much tackled the receiver. That'll be a huge break here for the Panthers.
So the first flag of the night, I believe, on the Trojans. A very costly one.
That's unfortunate. You know, you had pretty much Whitman-Hanson on the ropes now the past couple of drives. You've been able to stop them.
So the Panthers get 15 yards on the penalty. Brings up a very important first down. Handoff goes to number 20. That's Cam Cummings, and Cummings is going to be a couple of yards short of the first down marker.
Number 20, Cam Cummings on the carry.
About an 8-yard gain. Saw a big old hole right up there. Ran right through it. Good job from that Panthers offensive line.
18 yards on 3 carries so far tonight for number 20, the junior running back. Second down, I believe that's Giuliani who got the handoff. And that's going to be a loss of about 2 or 3.
Excellent job from Kyle Hess there for the Trojans getting into the backfield. Just ripping the running back down.
Just a 1-yard loss, so brings up 3rd and 3.
Big third down here for both teams, but especially Whitman-Hanson.
Three receivers to the near side. Cummings gets the ball, going off tackle to the far side. First down and a few extra inside the 40, up to the 35-yard line.
So that's what I was saying. Whitman-Hanson needs to do that run towards the line. You get everyone to converge, and then you kick it to the outside if he can get there, and he does.
Cummings again on the carry for the first down.
Second first down on the drive.
I believe the 5th one this entire game. I do the math right.
7.
Running game didn't work out there for the Panthers. That was Kloutman on the QB keep for about a 1-yard gain.
For the Panthers.
As we go under 6 minutes to go in the first half, BR up 14-6. And their defense facing a 2nd and 9 from Whitman-Hanson. And again, the BR defense was awake there for the running game.
For Whitman-Hanson, running up the middle, it's worked a couple of times, but more often than not, it's really not working. And for when they start running to the outside, that's when you really spread out that Bridgewater-Raynham defensive line, and that's when running up the middle works out because you have them worrying about running to the edge. But when you keep running up the middle, they're just going to compact that defensive line.
It's now
3rd and 10, so it's an obvious passing situation.
and we have a timeout.
I believe Whitman-Hanson's going to call a timeout.
So early on, it looks like BR's defense was spread out. Are we at the point now where Dan Biron is telling Mike Driscoll, the head coach of Whitman-Hanson, we're going to start the run. The only way you're going to beat us is with the passing game, because we have seen Kloutman with a couple of iffy passes, but he has connected on a couple of key first downs.
I mean, if you're Bridgewater-Raynham, you dare them to pass now. I mean, the running game has been working for Whitman-Hanson, especially when they get to the edge. But if Bridgewater-Raynham can stop that, you have to dare them to throw the ball. And some of Kloutman's passing haven't been the cleanest. A lot of them have been high. A couple of them have been wobbly. You saw one that was intercepted. So if you Bridgewater-Raynham, I think you try to do everything you can to stop the run and make them throw.
This has almost been a rock fight between these two teams, just straight up the middle, maybe a couple of off-tackle runs, but nonetheless, the Trojans out front by 8, 14-6.
Between Bridgewater State University and Massachusetts Maritime Academy, featuring 9 players from Bridgewater-Raynham playing for both of them.
Whitman-Hanson with a 4-receiver set here on 3rd down. Kloutman throws, and that is going to be complete to Dolan. A key 3rd down conversion that puts Whitman-Hanson at the 5-yard line.
About a 30-yard pass right there. We keep saying, bait him to throw, and he does. He finds the weak spot in the zone. The receiver just wouldn't go down. He brought 3 or 4 Trojans with him as he went down to the 5-yard line.
Corey Abelard on that stop for the Trojans.
Again, this is a sophomore quarterback making these throws, very dicey throws. And again, Panthers showing a 4-receiver set. Giuliani gets the ball, and he's going to get stuffed.
Giuliani on the carry.
Again, trying to go up the middle. Bridgewater-Raynham, for the most part, has been able to stop those runs up the middle for Whitman-Hanson.
And we have second and goal.
So depending on the spot here, that was the third negative run for C.J. Giuliani tonight. Two receivers on each side of the screen. Cloutman on the keep. That's a touchdown for the Panthers.
It's a read option right there from Cloughton, and does a great job of choosing, or actually keeping that one and going up the middle. He was just waiting to read what the Bridgewater-Raynham linebacker was going to do. We'll take a look at the replay. Comes across, he's reading, wants to see what the linebacker does. He bites on the pitch to the running back. He keeps it, runs it up the middle. 6-yard touchdown run.
The score right now, 14-12. 4:08 left to go in the second quarter. Looks like Whitman-Hanson going to play for the tie.
Three wide for the Panthers.
Stafford in the backfield. Cloutman on the run, throws this one. That one is going to be incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. The 2-point conversion has failed.
Good job from BR. Kind of stayed in a zone defense. A couple of your linebackers, I think he even had a cornerback was ready to go into the backfield waiting for a run. Then Cloutman goes to throw when you saw immediately that Bridgewater-Raynham secondary drop back into the end zone to prevent that.
So if you take out that interception, Cloutman, perfect passing tonight, but it's what he's done on the ground that has made this game a little closer. It is worth noting here, BR, depending on their offense and their controlling of the clock, you could be talking about Dan BR on double dipping again, as the Trojans will get the ball first in the third quarter. Declan Hannafy kicking away for the Panthers. Low line kick that goes right into the hands of James Holland. And Holland gets tripped up at the 48-yard line.
Holland on the carry for the Trojans. Stop by number.
So a little bit earlier on here, you might have heard in the background, Bridgewater State and Mass Maritime closing out the 2019 college season for their two schedules respectively, unless BSU makes a bowl game. But 9 BR players on both BSU and Mass Maritime collectively.
Yeah, the Cranberry Bowl is usually a good old BR classic.
I believe George Lampros is the kicker for the Buccaneers. As this is going to be Rubo taking it across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Of course, Stevie D'Amelia, senior quarterback there for the Bears. John, you had the opportunity to interview Stevie D'Amelia. Played football his whole life in Bridgewater with the Badgers, BR, and for Bridgewater State.
And he talked a lot about the coaching down with the Badgers, talked about Dan Bjorn being one of the top coaches in Massachusetts and playing for Joe Varia, as Hartzell gets tripped up right around midfield for about a 3-yard loss.
He had a couple options if he could just buy maybe half a second more time, but he couldn't. It's a good job from that Panthers defensive line.
Of course, the next time the BR Trojans will be playing here on BTV, it will be Thanksgiving morning. Kickoff at 10 a.m. here at the high school, and we'll have replays on BTV and BTVAccess.com. 3rd and 8. This is Lombard across midfield, turning on the afterburners. William Lombard breaks free and takes it to the house. 51 yards for Lombard.
Take a look at the replay. 3rd and 8, gutsy call there, going for a pitch to the outside. Got good blocking upfield, and again, saw the hole, shot through Cannon, goes right through it.
Back and forth we go here at the regional. 2:39 to go in the first half.
I believe this is going to be on Whitman-Hanson. It is.
So I believe that's the 4th penalty called against the Panthers tonight.
I think Trojans thought about maybe going for 2 with ball moving up a yard, but decided against it.
Stewart on for the PAT, and the kick is good. 21-12. Trojans in front.
Stewart on the successful PAT.
John, just to continue on your thought about Thanksgiving Day, the Cape Cod Cafe Cup. Also do a joint production with Brockton Community Access. Always a good time to link up from the boys from Brockton. Of course, this year, as you said, it's at Bridgewater-Raynham. BR trying to win that Cape Cod Cafe Cup back. They've won it 7 times.
It almost feels like it was the BR Invitational, but Brockton bucked that trend last year.
I believe it's 7-2 in favor of BR.
And of course, it gives us a great opportunity to have some fun with the Brockton people and going back and forth.
Yeah, when you have the legendary Newbie Rateau come on. Emmy Award winner Newbie Rateau this year.
I believe he's brought the award to Bridgewater State a couple of times, too. Stewart's kick goes end over end, and the Panthers seems like they've started from this point all night tonight, around their 30-yard line as the kick was brought back by Colstring.
Yeah, you're seeing that they're, after that first kickoff, now they're just going to really just shoot it kind of high into the sky, give your special teams time to get down there. I know it's somewhat good field position starting at the 30, but it's better to start or have Whitman-Hanson start in their own territory than have them start in your own territory, which is on the first drive for the Panthers.
Cummings in the backfield along with Cloutman. Cloutman off the short drop completes the pass to the far side, and spinning for a couple of extra yards, that's Ziden.
So last drive for BR, 3 plays, 52 yards, and a touchdown.
Ziden, 22 receiving yards tonight. Pair of receptions for the senior. Time ticking down to the 2-minute mark in the second quarter. Giuliani will get a short gain, maybe about a yard or so. And a timeout taken by Dan Biron, looking to conserve some of the clock.
Smart call right there from Coach Buron. Trying to save some clock. If you can stop Whitman-Hanson here, use your 3rd and final timeout. Depending on if it's a run, you use your 3rd and final timeout. If it's an incomplete pass, don't have to use that timeout. Maybe try to get one more score before going into the halftime break and get the second half kickoff to start the 3rd quarter.
After a slow start by the BR defense, they've really had Cloutman scouted out here. And when we started the game, it was actually Jason Murphy in at the quarterback position, got the first score of the night, a 6-yard run. Colby Garden guarded by Corsetti on the near side here. 3rd and 3. Cloutman, no drop back. That is going to be complete for the first down and a few extra up to the 45, and wisely Ziden going out of bounds.
Take a look at the replay. Quick comeback route, gets the ball right near the first down marker, runs for a couple yards after it.
So he's actually rolled down inbound, so the clock continues to wind down to 1:35. Cloutman gets pushed out around midfield.
Good decision right there from Cloutman. Just steps up, especially when there's little time left on the clock. Depending on how your passing game is going, sometimes you just step up and just get out of bounds, save some time. Good 6-yard run, gets to midfield.
Unofficially here, 21 rushing yards on 7 carries.
That's a gain of about 6. 4 yards for first down for the Panthers.
Cloutman again scrambling, again gets the first down, gets taken, or rather tripped up by Ryan Rubenskis for about a 7-yard gain.
Couple of tackles that Bridgewater-Raynham missed right here too. Some arm tackles, good job from Cloutman to get away from them. Unfortunately couldn't get out of bounds though, but this is a manageable field here for the Panthers. Don't really have to rush too much.
1 minute left to go. Handoff goes to Stafford, ducks under a couple of defenders to around the 39. And the Panthers will use the timeout with 54 seconds left.
Again, that cameraman, excellent job picking up the referee there.
Again, it's a good thing to hear what's happening outside, but we had the microphone up top where the assistant coaches are for Whitman-Hanson. So, I mean, like I said, depending on how the scoring goes, it could be iffy.
It could be. That's something I don't have to worry about.
That's true.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I like your thinking.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
What, a couple days ago, that was World Kindness Day, I think it was?
Yeah, sure, something like that.
Yeah. So a 2nd and 6 awaiting this Panthers offense, led by their sophomore quarterback, Andrew Cloutman.
Remember, that was their last timeout that they used, so if they get tackled in bounds, it's a hurry up.
Cloutman. I tried to get out of the pocket, but he's going to get slammed down. Logan Johnson on the stop.
Now Coach Bjorn's going to take a timeout.
Well, now that brings up a 3rd and long with 44 seconds to go.
It's about an 8-yard loss. So again, if BR can get the stop here.
And we've seen the kicking game for Whitman-Hanson has kind of been cold. So if they do punt it away, you're talking about maybe starting around your own 30, 35-yard line with a talented running game.
Yeah, the Whitman-Hanson only had 1 punt on the night and wasn't even enough for a first down.
BR playing a Whitman-Hanson team that comes in at 2-8, and for a 2-8 team, they're playing BR pretty tough. But this is also a team that lost 36-2 against Scituate last week in their consolation playoff round.
As we said at the pregame, they lost their quarterback early in the season, so it seems like it's a team that's been trying to find itself all season long. And when you get into these games, these non-playoff postseason games, you get to play around with different players, different formations, and Whitman-Hanson may have found something.
Again with a 4-receiver set, that is complete to Ziden. And Ziden will get stopped about 3 yards shy of the first down marker with 35 seconds to go. And Dan Bjorn is going to burn his final timeout. About a 10-yard gain, but still going to be 4th and short.
From Whitman-Hanson, I'd debate whether or not to go for it. It's in an iffy part of the field. You can get the punt off. There's 33 seconds left. You know, if you're Whitman-Hanson, you drop back and you see that there's nothing there. If you're the quarterback, just run until you get sacked. Not until you get sacked, but just throw the ball away. If you can try to take off maybe even 5 seconds off this clock, 5, maybe 10 seconds, that just limits Bridgewater-Raynham even more. And we've seen Bridgewater-Raynham we don't know if they have a deep passing attack. We haven't really seen it all season long. You saw in that one touchdown because it was a busted coverage. But we don't know if Bridgewater-Raynham has the ability to go long for a couple of plays.
Cloudman has given this BR defense fits, especially on the ground. He's going to throw here on 4th down. That is going to be intercepted by Morrison. As he comes around to the near side, Morrison taken down at the 26, 27-yard line. But that basically would have been a punt either way.
Yeah, that interception really is, it's not the end of the day for Whitman-Hanson. Take a look at the replay. I think he saw some pressure. He just wanted to get rid of that one as fast as he possibly could.
22 seconds remain to the half.
Only an 8-yard difference. The ball originally was on the 37 of the Trojans, but now from the 28.
Stop by for a cold cup of coffee and some liquor.
Okay, I like this.
It's an adventure coming here some days.
And that's how you really get the attendance up. I think BR is just going to run the clock out here.
They do have Rubenskis coming around to the far side. A little trickery here by the BR Trojans, but Morrison pays the price. He gets a few extra yards out of it, though, up to the 33, 34-yard line, but that's going to put an end to the first half.
Remember, Morrison was the quarterback last year for this Trojan squad. Probably didn't like what he saw downfield and just kept the ball.
So a very interesting first half here at the regional. It's been all on the ground. And the BR Trojans take a 21-12 lead into the halftime break, Brian. And we said earlier, this was early on it looked like the BR defense was really getting tested. But now on defense, Dan Buron's letting Whitman-Hanson pass the ball. It's more running the ball that's been the issue for the Panthers.
Yeah, Whitman-Hanson spreading out that offense, going 4 receivers, and they did a good job of running, especially outside the tackle box, and they got a lot of yards on the ground. When they ran up the middle, they had some successful plays, but more often than not, the Trojans were ready for it, and the passing attack for Whitman-Hanson has been good when they've simplified it. When they go for these short kind of comeback routes, in routes, out routes that are 5 yards or less, that's the passing attack for Whitman-Hanson that's been working. When they try to go downfield, it's resulted in 2 interceptions.
So it's a 9-point lead for the BR Trojans. They're up 21-12. We'll have second half action coming up in just a little bit. The Trojans will get the ball first. Second half coming up. Back here at the regional where it's 21-12, Bridgewater-Raynham on top of Whitman-Hanson. John Locke, Brian Barrard back here with you. And as you look at BR getting stretched out here, Brian, very important couple of weeks coming up here for a few spring athletes.
Yeah, well, so 5 spring athletes will be signing their national letter of intent to play college sports. Jack Berry from the baseball team will be attending Assumption College. Members of the Northeast 10, Summer Sheeran. She'll also be attending Assumption College. She'll be playing softball. And our teammate on the softball team, Jill Johnson, she'll be playing in the Northeast 10, but she'll be playing for Southern New Hampshire. Gina Maria Ricciotti, the one Division I athlete, she plays lacrosse. She'll be attending Harvard University, members of the Ivy League. And Nolan Carfagna, also member of the boys lacrosse team, he'll be attending post-university, members of the Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference. So they'll be signing their letters next week, and BTV will be there to cover it. So congratulations to those 5 players signing their letters of intent to play college sports.
And it has to be kind of cool for these athletes to kind of get the feel, because we see it in Division I with football and basketball and a couple other sports as well, but there's such a media blitz on, so it kind of gives them an opportunity to get that vibe and, you know, obviously a big step getting on to the next stage of their academic career.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bridgewater-Raynham, more and more signing more of their athletes are signing at Division I and Division II levels. Last year, you had not 1, not 2, but 3 members of the girls soccer team. All were on a Division I rosters. Brooke Cavino plays for URI. She's a strong forward that the Trojans had, the leading scorer at BR's history. The goalkeeper Bethany Dunk plays for UNH, and midfielder Cece Barron plays for the Merrimack Warriors, a newly Division I team in all of their sports. Men's ice hockey had been Division I in Hockey East, but all their other sports now joining the Northeast Conference to be Division I. So a lot of players from Bridgewater-Raynham playing at elite levels now in college. And we even mentioned on the football team, Jeff Ciccio plays for Fordham now, members of the Atlantic 10.
And very quickly here, before we kick off the second half, you talk about the women's basketball team as well. Shea Boland, it's been something you've been paying attention to as the years passed here, but what are we up to now, 12 or 13 Division I offers, something like that?
We are up to 25 Division I offers for Shea Boland. She had 10 before she even played 1 second of high school basketball, but now she's up to 25 Division I scholarship offers.
And of course, we'll keep you updated on the women's basketball team as the season goes on, but we're getting set for the second half of football here at the regional as the Trojans up by 9. And Brian, we were talking about some staggering numbers from the BR offense we'll get to in just a second here, as Morrison and Lombard awaiting this opening kick for the second half. Again, really no wind to speak of. A pretty nice November night, as that's going to be a squib kick taken by Michael Rubo around his own 33, tripped up, taken down around the 41. BR is going to start out on offense, something that we haven't seen a lot of tonight.
No, I mean, I think Whitman-Hanson may have been trying to do an onside kick there. We saw Newton North try that last week. I don't know if they were trying to do a squib kick. I think that was more of an onside kick. Because a squib kick, you figure you at least go back to your back 2 receivers. And it went off one of the upmen for Bridgewater-Raynham.
Trojans opening up in the power eye here. 5 on the defensive line for the Panthers. So that's going to be Rubo taking it to the 45.
So, John, as we talked about some first half numbers, Whitman-Hanson had the ball for nearly 17 minutes that entire first half. Bridgewater-Raynham for just a little over 7 minutes in that first half. BR did not have a drive that went longer than 5 plays. That's unbelievable. But you had multiple scores of 50-plus yards. And for Whitman-Hanson, they had 2 drives that went 11 plays. Those were 2 longest drives, but they also had drives of 9 plays, 7 plays. Whitman-Hanson dominating the possession here, but Bridgewater-Raynham dominating the scoreboard, and that's the one thing that matters.
Morrison, a 58-yard run. BR on a 34-yard reception. And Lombard with a 51-yard run in the first half. Lombard goes for the first down inside Whitman-Hanson territory.
Take a look at the replay. Lombard gets it outside, waits for that hole to open up. Does a good job finding it, getting right through, getting the first down for BR.
Have him down here for 72 yards on 6 carries, including that touchdown earlier on, the 51-yard run. The run lining up on the near side. Morrison, the motion man. Play action for Hartzell. Throwing on the run. That is going to be caught by Rubo and then dropped.
It's complete.
So they're going to give him the reception as the ball came loose when he came down. So up to the 42-yard line for a 6-yard completion.
Now Bobby Hunter had his paws on the quarterback there, just couldn't quite bring him down. We'll take a look at the replay. Good job from Austin Hartzell to get away from that just enough to get the pass out.
Hartzell 2 for 3 tonight, 40 yards passing. Quick handoff goes to Rubo, and he's going to get the first down. Up to the 37, so about a 5-yard gain for number 19.
Good job right there from the Trojans, open up the hole. Good assist there from Kyle Perry as well, pushing Rubo forward for the second first down of this drive.
Clock ticking down to 9:30. Left to go in the third quarter. Trojans up by 9, 21-12. Pitch to Lombard. Straight through the middle. Up to around the 32-yard line.
This drive is starting to turn into a typical Bridgewater-Raynham third quarter drive. Run the ball, take a lot of time off the clock, and you're gaining a lot of yards. And hopefully for Bridgewater-Raynham, we're going to win for 7.
Number 89, Ryan Rubenskis, limping off, favoring his right leg, I believe.
It will be 2nd and 5 for the Trojans.
I think he may have just banged it up. I think he's just trying to walk it off. Pete Smith, the trainer, not really paying much attention, just trying to have him walk it off.
2nd and 5 for the Trojans. Power I formation. And I think BR might have jumped early.
I believe we are going to get a jump here from BR. Luke Payton, number 88 for the Trojans, I believe jumped a little too soon.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the second Trojans flag of the night. Whitman-Hanson has 4, I believe. As these two teams continue play here in the consolation playoffs, or the consolation round. Is there actually an official phrase here, or just kind of
I just
taking a shot?
Took it as non-playoff postseason game. That's a mouthful.
So on 2nd down, this is Morrison on the sweep, coming around to the near side and steps out.
What
See where they're going to roll him out.
Stiff arm right there from Anthony Morrison. He had one of those last week, too, against Newton North. We'll take a look at the replay. There it is. Boom. Right to the ground. What a job. Bobby Hunter. Sorry, fella. Pretty much just gained the penalty yardage back.
For all the success that Morrison's had at the running back position, it's interesting to think that last year he was your starting quarterback going into the Thanksgiving game. As Morrison again gets the carry, he's going to be stopped just shy of the first down marker by a couple of yards, up to the 29.
That's crazy to think that he was your quarterback last year. Take a look at the replay. Trying to do a little trickery right here in the backfield. Good job from the Panthers. Make sure he didn't get a big gain out of that one. Look at those. Malcolm Alcorn crowded to meet the tackle there for the Panthers.
It's going to be 4th and 2 for the Trojans. 7:30 left to go, and I think regardless of where you are on the field, I feel like Dan Bjorn would have gone for it on 4th and 2 with his running attack.
And again, it's a questionable part of the field. Coach Bjorn's going to take a timeout. Just wanted to see how Whitman-Hanson was going to line up. See, Rubenska's now getting taped up on that right ankle.
Trojans an opportunity to get to 500 tonight, coming into tonight's matchup at 4-5. And you have to think, when the season began, such a slow start, 1 win, I believe, in their first 4 games. To get to 500 by the time you get to Thanksgiving really shows a turnaround for this team, even if there is a couple of consolation games here.
Yeah, that's huge. I think especially for your coaching staff to get back up to 500 playing your rival Brockton on Thanksgiving Day. And, you thought at one point you're 3-5 in the season, and all of a sudden there's a potential to finish above 500. That's going to be huge for a confidence boost for your underclassmen going into next year and your coaching staff.
Decent amount of returning players here that are very key, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Hartzell's going to be a junior. Morrison's going to be a senior. And then Rubo's going to be a junior running back. So very important members coming back for BR next season. On 4th and 2. Handoff goes to Lombard, and he's going to get the first down just inside of the 20.
Take a look at the replay. Run to the left. Good job. Good blocking right there from Bridgewater-Raynham, especially number 74, Kyle Hess. Good block on the outside. Gets enough room for Lombard to run through for the first down.
This drive is starting to get very close to matching what BR had the ball on offense for. Over 5 minutes now, down to 6:45 left to go in the third quarter. Hartzell throwing on the run. That pass is complete to Morrison. Morrison, touchdown Trojans. 20-yard passing play.
Just rolls out to his right. Morrison wide open and does an in route. Does the rest. That passing attack, once again, the play action pass is working so well for BR because they are so effective at running the ball. And when you do that play action, you get the secondary to think twice. They step up, and all of a sudden. Now, that wasn't kind of a deep ball, but you still had Morrison that was wide open.
The third completion tonight for Hartzell. Now 60 yards passing as Stewart comes on for the PAT. And it's a hometown bounce for the kicker.
And
How about that?
makes the point after touchdown.
We'll say that he did that on purpose.
Good.
He's just so good at kicking, he's going for trick shots now.
Might as well.
So you see the score there, a 16-point game. So for Whitman-Hanson playing behind the 8 ball here, now you have to start worrying about the possession game.
5 minutes and 20 seconds taken off the clock there for BR.
A bad snap. And I hope that's not a jinx on him because he and Hatchell have been very good together on their exchange. And it's very important when he's playing. I like to recognize Mr. McDermott for an excellent season.
So it took a while to get to this point, but it looks like Hartzell's starting to get a little more comfortable throwing the ball. A 34-yard touchdown, or passing touchdown, a 20-yard passing touchdown. It seems like he's starting to get a little more comfortable. It was a little bumpy at the start.
Yeah, well, it's not hard to get comfortable when your receivers are wide open. There's not a defender within 5 or 10 yards of them.
And Whitman-Hanson starting off from right around their own magic number there, the 30-yard line.
What a red shirt on that stop on the kickoff.
So these two teams are playing in the non-playoff round, but we were talking during halftime. There's actually a pretty interesting playoff game taking place tonight in the next town over in West Bridgewater.
Yeah, West Bridgewater and South Shore playing in the South Sectional Finals. South Shore's only loss in the year was a forfeit to West Bridgewater because they didn't want to play the 12-minute quarters.
So this is a QB keep here by Cloutman. Gets right back up to around the line of scrimmage.
And that was kind of bizarre at the beginning of the season when South Shore didn't want to play the 12-minute quarters and going to play West Bridgewater, and they had to do a forfeit because they didn't want to play the game. And that's their one loss in the year, and now they have to go back to playing at West Bridgewater with 12-minute quarters.
Should be an interesting game. A lot of interesting matchups across the state as a lot of teams inch closer and closer to playing at Gillette Stadium coming up in a couple weeks. Cloutman, quick pass over. That is complete right around the first down marker. The referee, I think, has light flash before his eyes, but the pass is complete to number 9, Colby Garden.
Yeah, kind of a scary play right there for the umpire. Take a look at the replay. He moves out of the way. Good job right there. Quick feet from the umpire.
Cloutman, 8 for 10, passing 77 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Also has 2 interceptions as well. New side downs for the Panthers as Cloutman goes straight through the middle to around the 47.
There's another run that you see right at that Bridgewater-Raynham defensive line, but this time worked out pretty well for the Panthers in a 4-yard gain.
Looking at this quarterback here for the Panthers, Andrew Cloutman, I feel like as time goes on and he gets into his senior year, if he plays this style of football, Whitman-Hanson could be one of those interesting teams to watch when we start talking about South Shore football.
Well, as you said, Connor Meehan was their starter this year, and he went down early. He's also another sophomore. Maybe a quarterback battle in camp next August for these Panthers.
As Cummings goes closer to the first down marker, they're going to give him the first down by about a yard or so.
This one goes to the middle and then kicks it to the outside. Good stiff arm right there. Avoids a couple of tackles, keeps his legs moving. Good run.
The 5th carry for Cummings tonight. 36 yards. Cloutman passed to the far side. A little too tall there for Ziden.
I've seen a couple of throws from Cloutman go a little high for his receivers. Saw a quick comeback route going towards that outside shoulder and a little too far and a little too high.
So besides the 2 interceptions, that's the first incompletion for Cloutman tonight. On his 11th passing attempt.
Number 42 for the Panthers on the carry. Stopped by of the Trojans.
So a big third down right here for Whitman-Hanson. They have to convert on this and get some points on the board. They really want to stay with Bridgewater-Raynham because we've seen the Trojans, that running game is just getting more and more powerful, and it's going to take off more and more time. Bridgewater-Raynham, I think, has guaranteed themselves not to have the ball for 7 minutes in this second half.
I have to imagine this is 4-down territory if they don't convert here. For the Panthers, Cloutman completes his eye, or that's going to be incomplete.
Again, the throw a little bit wide. One for 2 Cloutman is on this drive so far.
Number 6 on the Panthers, John Ziden.
I'm noticing a lot of different drop backs for Cloutman. He either has the no-step drop, where he just throws it right when he gets the ball, or he has the deep 3 to 5 foot drop. So the Panthers going for it here on 4th down from the BR 41. Cloutman throwing this one deep. That is going to be intercepted. Number 11, Matthew Buron.
Not sure what Cloutman saw there. Buron was all by himself. I don't know if may have been trying to throw it to Buron. I mean, we'll take a look at the replay. Buron just drops back, reads the quarterback's eyes. I don't know if it's a miscommunication with his receiver. Maybe trying to find a Devin Colstring there. Not on the same page, and Buron's just right there to corral the INT.
So 2 of the 3 interceptions for Cloutman have been on 4th down. So looking back, it's not going to hurt the Panthers as much because they would have basically had to punt the ball away regardless. So now the Trojans start from the Whitman-Hanson 19-yard line.
They are going to start to hurt more and more, though, if you're trying to chase down the team and you keep giving the ball back to them.
And that ball is popped loose, and I don't know if that's going to be an interception or not, but that's going to be a Panthers football. The ball came loose, and it was caught by Zach Boyce-Jolie. Almost like a Lawrence Guy play there.
That's just a fumble.
Number 57 of the Panthers. Zach
Boyce-Jolie. That was a pronunciation there for the Panthers player that got the football.
So Whitman-Hanson eventually got that long completion.
It's all about that end result. 3:26 to go in the third quarter. Panthers down by 16. Cummings gets the handoff, and he gets pulled down initially there by Corey Ablard.
You know what the play I love to do after getting a turnover is go for the end zone, go for that deep ball, and really make that interception or that fumble, make that hurt. Obviously scoring on it will too, but if you score immediately right after it, adds a little bit more sting.
Well, we've seen BR capitalize on some of the Whitman-Hanson miscues. The interception in the first half, also a kick that went out, not even reaching the first down marker. Three receivers to the far side. Cloutman completes the pass right around the 21-yard line. Pass complete to Tom George for his first completion of the night.
Again, just the high percentage throw right here. Finds the weak spot in the zone. Comes up and gets it a little bit. Good throw right there to get the confidence of the quarterback up.
Great job.
6 Whitman-Hanson players with at least one reception tonight, led by John Ziden. Now 3rd and 6. Cloutman has more than enough time. Looking for the open man, going for the end zone jump ball, and that is going.
I think it's intercepted. It is. It's going to be intercepted by the Trojans and a touchback.
Somewhere in the mass of humanity, BR comes up with the ball, and that might have been McMasters that got the interception somewhere in that scrum.
This is excellent protection, though, right here from the Panthers' offensive line. Cloutman has to roll out to his left, looking for receiver, throws it deep towards the back of the end zone. There's just a scrum there. I'm not sure who gets the interception.
That's Tyler Newman. He's been all over the place on defense.
Just kind of a jump ball in the back of the end zone, and Newman just wins the battle to get it.
In the first half, it was all about scoring for both of these teams, but now it's just been back and forth turnovers. First down, the carry goes to Lombard for a couple yards.
I like they go right back to Lombard after that fumble, get his confidence up.
I think we saw that last week again for Morrison. He dropped the ball, and they kept giving him the ball, and eventually he got in the end zone right after.
Yeah, I like that. You go right back to them and shows them that you still trust that player and you have a lot of faith in that player. It's just one blunder, and they make up for it usually right after.
Pierron going to the far side, and Lombard the motion man this time. Morrison gets the pitch. And he'll go to the 25-yard line as we go inside of a minute to play in the third. BR up 28-12 as we get set for probably the last play of the third quarter. Relatively fast game here, only about an hour and a half of real time. Hartzell rolling out to his left, looking downfield. That is going to be complete to Morrison over the 40-yard line up to the 42.
It's a great catch right there from Anthony Morrison. We'll take a look at the replay. Morrison was calling for the ball way earlier than when he wanted to get it thrown to. As you see right there, holding his hand up, waiting for it. What an excellent throw, an excellent catch right there, quarterback and receiver.
For the second time tonight, Anthony Morrison ends a quarter with a positive play, as the Trojans will take a 28-12 lead going into the final quarter of play for the BR Trojans. We talked about the playoff field a little bit with West Bridgewater, but looking around the rest of the divisions between North and South, so far when we talk about these expanded playoffs, we've been very vocal about, we've said we're not a fan of it. So far, if you take all the games, there's only been 20 upsets in the entire North and South playoffs when you talk about all 8 divisions. And the average margin of victory, you're talking about somewhere between 15 and 30 points. So there's quite the contrast when you talk about some of these top-tier teams and some of these teams that are making it because of the expanded playoffs.
Yeah, as I said, the Newton North game, 8 divisions is way too much, and supposedly they're going to try and move it down to 5 divisions in the next couple of years. I think they should even be less than that. And all the other sports in Massachusetts is only 3, maybe 4 divisions. I can't see why football can't go to that as well. But, I mean, it doesn't really make sense for Massachusetts to have more divisions than Texas in football.
Obviously, the numbers get kind of skewed when you talk about fewer teams, but Division II South, the average margin of victory was 29 points. On first down to open things up, that's Rubo with a carry. Gets stuffed around the line of scrimmage. Brockton got knocked out of the playoffs last week. So both BR and Brockton will play their final game of the season coming up on Thanksgiving.
Brockton playing Boston College High School in their postseason non-playoff game, whatever you want to call these.
Morrison and Buron split right now. Morrison to the far side of your screen. Hartzell, high pass, looking for Buron, just out of his reach.
Good idea, though. If Bjorn is able to catch that and stay on his feet, he's into the end zone easily. But Hartzell, the only way he was going to be able to complete that one is you had to lead him by a lot right there. As Buron had his man beat, had he been able to wait a second, maybe he could have waited to throw the ball. It's a good idea. Didn't quite connect, though, as you could see. But I like that play call. Almost had perfect execution. If Bjorn could have dove for it, maybe he could have caught it. I don't know. It would have been a tough catch to make.
If you take all those pitches out of the way, that was the 6th passing play for Austin Hartzell tonight. I'm trying to remember some of the games that I've called this season for Hartzell. He hasn't really gone over 5 passing attempts, and there's still 11:16 to go in the fourth quarter. The ball does come loose, but...
Well, you can keep those pitch plays in there because those aren't passes.
Well, sometimes they call it.
Well, it has to go forward. Yeah. Anything else about the rule book you want to know?
I mean, we still have 11 minutes to go. Last week we found out about the running clock.
We did find out about the running clock last week. That was a great little wrinkle that was thrown our way.
I feel like I learn something new every time I come here.
Aren't you supposed to?
It is a school.
Very true.
So the Trojans are going to punt it away as we get closer to 10:30 left to go in the fourth.
You see on the near sideline, Hartzell in his center, working on that exchange right now. Rafael Montero, Miranda, the center, trying to get that snap. What a boot that is.
Jake Bailey would be proud.
How about that?
Inside the 5, down to the 3.
What a punt right there from Matt Buron. Gets the back English on it. It's like a professional golfer shot right there. That's within 3 or 4 feet of the hole. You can knock that in for birdie easily. Maybe not me, but a professional golfer could.
You said it. So now the Panthers had their worst start of the night here at their own 4-yard line. As you imagine, this affects the play calling because you can't have Cloutman moving around the pocket so much. This is more about just trying not to allow 2 points.
I think if you're Whitman-Hanson, you try those run plays just to get some more breathing room before you try to throw the ball a little bit more. Try to get back in this game. Obviously, you're going to have to pass the ball and pass it deep and get big chunks of yards in short amount of time. Short amount of time, not shorts.
Giuliani gets the first down carry, and he's going to get stuffed around the line of scrimmage. But the right guy to have in the backfield, as he is listed at the tight end position, but playing in the backfield at running back.
Well, he's such a special player for the Panthers. They had to get the ball to him somehow. And when your quarterback goes out at the beginning of the year, you have to throw Giuliani into the backfield just to get him some touches on the ball.
So far tonight, unofficially 12 yards on 9 carries for Giuliani.
3 wide for the Panthers.
On second down, this is Stafford with the ball, and we do have a flag.
This may be a hold on Whitman-Hanson, and depending on where the hold is, this could be another safety.
With a flag on the deck.
Because if this hold does occur in the end zone, we may have another safety on our hands.
Already Whitman-Hanson down by 16, so a safety would make it a 3-possession game.
They're actually going to call a face mask on BR. That is huge for Whitman-Hanson. 15 free yards. Wow.
Face mask call against the Trojans, and it will result in the first down for the Panthers.
I don't see a face mask at all. Maybe Bjorn may have grazed it on the way over. Huge
now,
break.
A new set it down for the Panthers. But again, they stay on the ground, and again, BR is there to stop things, as I think that was number 32, McMaster's on the stop.
I still, going back to that, I don't know if that's a face mask. Like I said, Bjorn may have grazed it, and if so, that's only a 5-yard penalty, not 15 yards.
Clock continuing to wind down. Cloutman out of the pocket, and I think he has the first down. Or are they going to spot him a couple yards shy?
Number 17 of the Panthers on the carry. That's Andrew Cloutman. McMaster's on the pass out.
I have to imagine at some point Mike Driscoll's going to have to consider going for the long ball here, down by 16 with about 8.5 to go.
May have it here in the slot on the near side. It goes for the run.
They stay on the ground again, looking for the new set of downs potentially before they start thinking deep. And that's going to be 33, Colstring.
And that is a first down. It'll be first and 10. For the Panthers on the 27-yard line.
Nice ball distribution tonight for the Panthers. 6 players with at least 1 carry, including the quarterback, Cloutman, who plays out of the shotgun. Giuliani takes this across the 30 up to the 31, 32-yard line.
Giuliani on the carry.
Panthers looking for their 3rd win this season. Coming into this matchup at 2-8, BR looking to get to 500 going into the Thanksgiving matchup. 4 receiver set. Cloutman has to throw this one away.
It's a good job from Bridgewater-Raynham getting into the backfield, even though you don't get the sack. I've always say this, get your hands up. Even if you can't get there, get your hands up. You maybe get a pass deflection, or you block the vision of the quarterback, and he just has to throw the ball away because he can't see his receivers downfield. Good job from that Trojans defensive line to cause that incompletion.
I think it was 33, Jacob Spear in on the assisted pressure. Whitman-Hanson has to start worrying about the clock now. 7.5 remaining, down by 16 points. Cloutman getting rushed. Again, he has to throw this one away.
was caught, just not inbounds.
Initially, it looked like it was going to go to the golf cart over here, but somehow, some way, I think Dolan might have had the best shot.
Take a look at the replay. I think he's looking for Zidon. Well, I don't think that's the initial receiver, but Zidon's the one that actually comes back to try and catch it. Not even in the screen. There he goes.
So a series of unfortunate events for Whitman-Hanson here, having to kick it away on 4th down with 7:22 left to go. It's Iden, end over end, and it's going to roll it around the 34-yard line, 35. As the ref continues to walk down the sideline up to the 39. It's like playing that cliffhanger game on The Price is Right.
I don't know how refs see where it goes out of bounds, especially when they're 10, 15 yards downfield. I think it's just a guess.
Well, it's fun watching it on the NFL games because they can go a solid 10, 15 yards.
Maybe they just have some supervision we don't.
Maybe it's like Google Maps.
Could be Google Maps. Don't know if we have that technology here yet. But I've been wrong before.
Had you imagine goal number 1 for Dan Bjorn and the Trojans here, wind as much clock down as possible. The pitch goes to Lombard, and he tripped over his own man, tangling up his feet there with Andrew Danino.
He doesn't trip up there. That could be an easy first down here for the Trojans. We'll take a look at the replay here.
We've seen this.
Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, we've seen this a few times with the running backs, Morrison and Lombard. They keep bouncing into their own guy.
Yeah, I think 64 Andrew Daneno was just looking for someone to block. Poor guy he was ready to pancake someone. Just no one wanted to come near him, though.
So a 4-yard gain for Lombard and a bigger gain here for Rubo inside Whitman-Hanson territory to the 35.
Decent run right there from Rubo. Good hole opened up again from the Trojans' offensive line. About a 21, 22-yard run.
Unofficially here, Rubo 38 yards rushing on 6 carries.
Oh, we'll call it official.
Well, I don't want to be the official scorer because there's a lot of responsibility.
Too late. Just gave you that position.
I mean, we've seen what happens with the newspapers when you start it. BR lines up on the near side, but this is going to be a running play for Morrison. Pulling defenders to the 31.
So if you're Whitman-Hanson, you know Bridgewater-Raynham's just going to run. So if you're the Panthers, you can pack that box with 8 guys. I don't think Bridgewater-Raynham is even going to try and throw the ball right here, even if you put 11. You do a cover 0 if you're the Panthers. You do something like that. I mean, I don't think BR is still going to pass the ball.
Clock winding down, getting closer to the 5-minute mark. The Panthers have 3 timeouts left. Meanwhile, the Trojans have 2, but at this point, not going to use any of those timeouts right now as Lombard gets the carry on 2nd down. And Whitman-Hanson can have the ball back because the Trojans just scored again.
As you said, you can load the box. Whitman-Hanson did that in Bridgewater-Raynham. I mean, they're able to get their initial blocks and then get their secondary blocks. We'll take a look at the replay, which is a good job. And it breaks the arm tackles once he gets through that line. When you pack the box, you get through it. No one's going to stop you.
The second touchdown of the night for William Lombard from 30 yards out. Puts the Trojans on top, 34-12. Stewart on for the PAT, and that is going to be good. A little more smooth sailing this time, didn't have to depend on the bounce.
4 plays, 39 yards for the Trojans. Took just a little over 2 minutes off the clock. 2 minutes, 25 seconds.
So this is the second non-playoff game the Trojans have played. Obviously, one more game to go, talking about Thanksgiving morning. As we start looking ahead to Thanksgiving as BR takes on Brockton, what takeaways do the Trojans take from these past 2 games? Because this looks like a completely different team, granted non-playoffs, but a team that's shown some positives.
You take that running game's working, especially the pitches to the outside. Your offensive line's doing an amazing job, post first quarter, really opening up those holes for your running backs. Against a team like Brockton that can score very quick, I mean, you're going to have to look out for Amik Watterson, who's going to be the playmaker for the Brockton Boxers. If you can keep him off the field as long as you possibly can by sustaining a good running attack, that's going to be the key for the Trojans come Thanksgiving morning.
Again, we'll have that game for you on BTV, and it's a collaborative effort as we team up with BCA. End over end.
The ball to the 10-yard line and stop.
Up to the 25-yard line. That's Devin Colstring.
5-yard line by Michael Rubo.
Of course, it is worth noting here that you're watching and hearing us and seeing everything that we do. This is a volunteer effort, so we, of course, invite people to come down and volunteer, help out. As we are starting to branch out volunteers here, we do have some volunteers from the regional helping out as well in the future.
I believe Bridgewater-Raynham is going to start their own little news network here with us at Bridgewater Television. Get some of the high school students involved.
Of course, to find out more, if you're watching us on TV right now, you can log on to btvaccess.com. Cloutman, he's had a difficult night here in the second half as he gets taken down, but the defensive line for the Trojans has really done a good job stepping up. As you can see, number 87, Logan Johnson, might have rolled his ankle.
Once again, the secondary for Bridgewater-Raynham is causing these. They sit back, that zone coverage, making sure that no Panthers receivers really get open. And, of course, now you're looking deep if you're Whitman-Hanson, so it's kind of easy to play defense here for BR. And when you sit back, there's no one open. It gives that defensive line even extra time to go in and get a sack on Cloutman. Although there was no gain, so it's not a sack. But
4 minutes and winding down. Cloutman racking up the miles here as he gets pushed out of bounds.
Luke Payton on the left side there just completely blew by his guy, got in the backfield. Take a look at the replay here. You see 88 for BR Payton. Good hands right there. Just gets by his guy, gets in the backfield, causes the loss.
Ball was started at the 18-yard line.
So going to be a 3rd and 17. 3:53 to go in the fourth. Cloutman airing it out here, going for broke, and that is going to be caught.
What a catch and double coverage on the near sideline. Excellent pitch and catch right there. Take a look at the replay. Finds Zidane again. Just throws it up. Looks like it was kind of going to be a lame duck again.
About a 30-yard completion.
30 yards on the dot, 18 to the 48.
48-yard line.
Quick math. Well done.
I'm impressed. 3:30 left to go. Giuliani across midfield up to the 48-yard line with the forward progress. As the Panthers trying to make this a little closer in the final score. Currently down by 23.
John McMasters. Stop by host of Trojans.
On second down and 6. Panthers with that 4-receiver set. Cloutman evades the pocket, spins around for the first down across to the 39. Clock's going to stop at 2:41 while they move the chains.
Look at the replay. Good job from the offensive line between your right guard and right tackle.
Time continues to wind down again after the change gets set down to 2:25. Cloutman had all the time. That's going to be incomplete going toward the Trojan sideline.
I think he may have been trying to find Colby Garden. Garden looks like he temporarily found some sort of weak spot in that zone to gain about maybe 20, 25 yards. But BR was able to find that pretty quickly and had a couple guys step up, and that's why he just threw the ball away.
That's a good Irish name.
So again, BR going to go to 500 and about 2:14. Cloutman airing this one out. That's going to be intercepted, and that's a capper on the night. Brian Merlino with the interception.
At that point, Cloutman is just looking for anything, just throws it up, hoping that he can get a catch. But a lot of his passes downfield have not been tight spirals. They've kind of just been ducks that he just throws out there.
The 5th interception for Andrew Cloutman with 2:04. The Trojans are just going to wind this thing down here and leave the high school with a 5-5 record. Looking forward to Thanksgiving against the Brockton Boxers.
Coach Bjorn's going to take a timeout.
It's interesting when you think about the adjustments made when we talk about the BR defense. Early on in the first quarter, Whitman-Hanson really was allowed to do whatever they wanted, but then at some point in that first half, Dan Bjorn said, if you're going to beat us, it's going to be with a pass, because that running game was stuffed after that first drive.
Yeah, like you said, they did 4 receivers, ran to the outside, and it was working for Whitman-Hanson. And then you saw a couple of mistakes, try to go deep through an interception early on in the first half, and Bridgewater-Raynham was able to take advantage of it. And anytime Whitman-Hanson ran up the middle, Bridgewater-Raynham did a good job of stopping it. And even there was a couple times, especially in the second half, Whitman-Hanson trying to run to the outside. Bridgewater-Raynham was able to stop that.
Okay, word now that Brockton has lost their game 20-14 against BC High. Had to imagine that's going to put the Boxers players in a great mood, coming in off a loss against a BR football team looking to regain the Cape Cod Cafe Cup.
Goes to Division I South sectional final of Catholic Memorial and Franklin Panthers.
So a new quarterback coming in here for the Trojans. That's Ryan Brainey. Saw him come out for a little while in the second half against Newton North last week. I think when we talk about the landscape in high school football, it's very surprising to see Zaveri in the fall that they've had over the past couple of years. Obviously, a coaching change will affect that, but just the fall that they've had.
I feel like Zaverian every few years has one of those years where they're 500 or hovering around 500. I feel like a lot of times with Zaverian, you're very senior and junior, heavy, and when they leave, you're relying on a lot of underclassmen. And that could be what Zaverian is going through here this year. But again, like I said, I feel like every once in a while they go through one of these seasons where they're 500. Actually, they're well below 500 this year. I don't even think they made the postseason.
I don't think so, yeah. I think they had to win their last regular season game, and I think they lost that one. The clock ticking down to the 1 minute mark. King Philip, another team, kind of surprising to see they got bounced in the second round by Mansfield.
Yeah, Mansfield's starting to creep up more and more now in Division II South. Pretty much every year it usually came down to BR, King Philip, or Mansfield. Natick, always tried to threaten to get into Division II South, and they were the number 1 seed this year in D2 South.
So for all intents and purposes, this should be the final play, as this is going to be Jacob Spear
Stay in bounds.
Going for the first down. Stopped around the 44. Clock's going to stop for a second for the chains to move. Clock winds down. BR is 20 seconds away from a 23-point victory.
I don't even think BR should snap this ball. I mean, they'll obviously set it. And no, they're going to have the players come on the field. So there's your final.
35-12, the BR Trojans defeat the Whitman-Hanson Panthers, and they even their record up to 500 ahead of a Thanksgiving Day matchup against the Brockton Boxers. Brian, we said the past two games has been all about the planning for the game against Brockton on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. And that running attack here for BR, it's been the staple of Buron's offense, and it's worked so well so far against Newton North and for Whitman-Hanson.
A lot of damage done on the ground tonight by the running game for the BR Trojans, but Austin Hartzell, 2 passing touchdowns tonight, one from 34 yards out and one from 20 yards out. So once again, the final score 35-12, BR at 5-5 heading into Thanksgiving, and that's the next time we'll see you coming up on Thanksgiving Day. For Brian Berard, I'm John Luck. Thanks for watching.